going to review some manga that I've recently completed, so check it out. That's it for my intro because I'm ready to review some manga. First up, I completed volumes 7 through 10 of Kimi ni Todoke From Me to You. I always feel like I pronounce the title of this series incorrectly, so I apologize for that. But this series, if you don't know or haven't watched my channel, is about a young woman named Sawako. Even though she's sweet and things inside, everybody thinks she's a little bit creepy. But then this boy right here, he decides that he's going to befriend her, and through him befriending her, other people start to kind of see who she really is and want to befriend her as well. I have to say that these 4 volumes were the best for yet. Now, I've been enjoying this series quite a bit so far. Usually I've rated, I think, all the previous volumes between 4 to 4.5 stars, and the only reason I didn't quite get to the 5-star rating yet until recently was because there are some moments in sort of the previous volumes to these that are a little bit repetitive. I do think sometimes the dialogue was a little repetitive in some areas, but otherwise I was always really enjoying the story. However, I think finally by volume 7, all the character introductions were done. You already kind of know who the characters are, and some of those repetitive elements that were in there previously, for the most part, have gone away. I'm in these books for just the pure heartwarming, endearing cuteness of love and friendship, and this had that in abundance. I was like, my ship is sailing, my little friend group is just having a grand old time. Now, I won't say that there isn't a little bit of drama, but even the drama is not like so high key that you're like, you're hurting my heart. So if you're just looking for like something light and fun, I would definitely recommend this series, or what I've read of the series so far. So I gave every single one of these volumes 5 stars because they were too cute. Next up is The Girl from the Other Side, volume 1. This series takes place in a world where there are the outside group of creatures, if you will, and they are sort of creepy looking, like the dude on the cover. And then also there's the inside. Those are like the human characters, and those characters on the inside believe that if you are touched by these outside creatures, that you will also become sort of a monster as well. And in this story, a little girl is abandoned by her human caretaker, and one of the outside creatures decides to take care of her. But the issue is, of course, that while he has this sort of fatherly affection for her, he cannot touch her because he's afraid that he's going to curse her. I knew that I would probably like this because it sounds odd in a way that is also endearing, and it is definitely that, but I ended up really loving this. The art style is kind of different, which I really enjoyed, and also just that little bond between that adorable little girl and like the little outside guy. Aww. But also there's quite a bit of like action and like tension even in this first volume because of just sort of the tensions between these two groups. So I really think that this series is going to expand and be really interesting. I definitely want to read more of this series, and I gave this first volume 5 stars. Next, I completed Gunslinger Girl volumes 1 and 2. Gunslinger Girl is a series that is about a secret sort of government agency that turns injured children, if you will, into cyborg assassins. These 2 volumes were both what I was expecting and also not what I was expecting at the same time. I feel like while I expected a certain level of violence to this because of the word, obviously, cyborg assassin, I didn't expect the sort of melancholy and sadness that there is underlying this book. The sadness that will come from the fact that these are young girls that are being brainwashed and forced into this violent sort of career. and also how it defines kind of their relationships with the people that are their handlers, that are sort of the people that, you know, control them and things like that. And it really calls into question like that element of mind control and like different types of relationships that these characters have. And I find that really intellectually interesting. So it was definitely more intellectually interesting than I thought it was going to be. And also there is, of course, a political element that I found intriguing. Now, I rated these both 4.5 stars. For some reason, they didn't quite reach the 5-star rating, even though I did find them extremely well put together. Now, I feel for the first volume and a little bit of the second volume, part of that was that I did find certain elements of it like confusing upon the first time read. Some of that was because of some of the paneling in one or two places, and some of that is just because I think my brain was like not quite ready to comprehend what was going on. So I do think genuinely that maybe upon a reread, these would maybe get a higher rating than 4.5 stars. But for now, I'm going to give them a 4.5 stars. I'm definitely intrigued to read more of this and see what happens. The last volume of manga that I'm going to chat about today is volume 1 of Codename Sailor V. So Sailor V is sort of a prequel of Sailor Moon, and it focuses on the character Sailor Venus. I'm actually not sure if it's a prequel or if it was written first. I thought I read that this was actually written before Sailor Moon, but it can definitely be read as a prequel if you so choose. I would say that Sailor V was not intended to be some deep, meaningful read, particularly in a first volume of this manga. It's meant to be whimsical, you know, super heroine girl power fun. And it definitely does its job in terms of that. It is just like a cute, fun read with a little bit of action. Yes, the stories do tend to follow the same plot arc, which is there's a villain trying to take the energy of the peoples of Tokyo, and Sailor V saves the day and then goes back to her normal life as a normal average girl. Like, that's kind of the basis of even the Sailor Moon story is in the beginning of Sailor Moon, so this kind of follows that same kind of arc. There's no like overarching plot to it yet. Not to say that in later volumes there wouldn't be, but I still think if that's the kind of thing that you're looking for, it's enjoyable, it's good, fun. I really do kind of enjoy seeing like the start of Sailor V, and I particularly noticed in this that there is a very different sort of persona from Minako, who is, you know, sort of like not all together, and Sailor V and her persona as Sailor V, and how she's a little bit more together when she's Sailor V. And I guess you sort of see that in the Sailor Moon manga, but you really see it in this because she's just learning how to use her powers and things like that. The thing that I tend to enjoy about both this and Sailor Moon is the art. I think the art style is particularly just lovely to look at, and I really enjoy how things are paneled yet again in these. So I think that is probably like my most favorite part about this, but it's still, like I said, good fun. So I gave this one 4 stars. Those were all my thoughts on my recently read manga. Recommend me some manga in the comments because I love trying out new series or seeing what's out there, so please do that, or just tell me if you enjoyed this video or not, because I would also accept that as well. Thank you for watching, my fabulous peeps. I will see you all soon. Bye!